Hi, I am Rachel from Empower Your Thoughts, and I have with me here today Rebecca Cardoza
Hello.
and Angela Tipton,
Hello.
coming at you virtually from our homes. So this is our second blog, right, girls, that we're doing,
Yes.
or blog, I should say. And we decided to do it a little bit differently this time because obviously, we are in the middle of a pandemic and we're not allowed to leave our homes. So we kind of decided this would be a better format or platform for us to try. And we just wanted to talk to you a little bit today about finding peace during these difficult times. So we have actually a presentation that we put together, a slideshow, and we'll walk through those talking points with you today.
So this slideshow is peace of mind in difficult times and how to move through fear to maintain a state of well-being, and what that means for each one of us, finding ourselves, as everyone has around the world, in a place where we've never been before.
So there are certain steps that we would recommend taking if you're trying to find peace of mind and you're having difficulty finding that. And it's difficult. I think it's difficult right now for some people, just because even if you're not feeling stressed, you're probably picking up on that a little bit. And it's important to take certain steps to find that peace within yourself. And one of the first things that you can do is just check in with yourself, and see how you're feeling. Honor yourself. You might be feeling like a little bit of fear creeping in sometimes, or there might be days that you're feeling totally fine. And then there are other days that you're feeling a little overwhelmed. So I think it's really important to just take an assessment of how you're feeling and just check in with yourself and figure out, okay, this is how I'm feeling right now, and to recognize that.
Absolutely. To acknowledge that, like you said, day to day might feel differently, and know that that's okay. You might feel really upbeat and positive and optimistic one day, and then the next day you're feeling depressed, and just being able to acknowledge that and how that feels for you, and know that it's okay, that you're human.
I think that's tough too. I think that when you feel like you need to be happy all the time, or kind of this forced optimism, especially if you have your family that you're living with in your home and you're trying to set that energy for them, or that perception for them that everything's okay. And so I think it's important to check in with yourself and just see, how am I feeling today, really? How am I, honestly, how am I feeling today? And know that it's okay if you're feeling a little bit scared or worried. It's normal and natural, and you don't want to just ignore that.
Right. Angela, what are your thoughts on that?
I find myself being really upbeat one day, and then the next day just feeling really heavy, and then just kind of allowing myself to move through that. I think, both me and my husband are working from the home. My son's doing homeschool, or school with digitally, or what is it, remotely.
Yeah.
And so it's interesting to we're always so busy going here, going there, to be kind of confined. We don't have a huge space that we, exist in. So it's I don't know, it's interesting. It's like you're saying, some good days
Mhm.
and some days where you're working through it. So once you honor or figure out what you're feeling, then you can send love to the areas in your emotional body or your physical body that might need healing. So, in this time that we're experiencing, you might have a rite of emotions that are coming up. And it's good to check in with how you're feeling. So, are you having thoughts of fear, anxiety, uncertainty? Honor and allow those feelings to come up, and then gently move them through, gently move through those emotions and release them. And I think sometimes we don't realize that our physical bodies are affected by our emotions. So try to check in with your body when you have strong feelings. Do you hold stress in your stomach? Or is your jaw and your shoulders tense? Does your heart feel heavy, or does it hurt? You
Mhm.
know, sometimes I think it's good to, when you're laying in bed and you wake up and you're feeling that heaviness, you know, check in. Where are you feeling that? What's going on in your body? And I think once you've honed into those areas, and how you're reacting, then send loving, soothing thoughts to those areas. You know, if it's in your heart, place your hand on your heart and tell your heart that you love it. Tell your heart thank you and everything's going to be okay. And
Mhm.
go through each area that feels connected to these fears or feelings that feelings until you're able to relax. And I think, you know, we're all in different situations. Some of us are dealing with family members who might be dealing with this pandemic, or some of us might be stuck in our homes, or some of us might be having your essential workers who are having to go and deal with the public and deal with other people. Um, and I think it's going to feel different for everybody. So wherever you're at, whatever you're experiencing, you know, you can do this.
Absolutely. And I think that's the one
Absolutely.
thing for me that I've noticed. I tend to, and I think a lot of women do this, maybe men do it too, but just getting through the day and through the moment. You don't check in with yourself. You don't say, how am I feeling, or where am I possibly feeling these emotions, or fears or worries or concerns in my body. And then when you actually take that moment and you're like, oh my gosh, I was holding that in my shoulders,
Yeah.
or I was holding it in
Yeah,
my heart. So it is important to take that time to feel in your body where you're feeling it, and then send love to that, and even visualize peaceful energy going to those areas, because you
absolutely.
hold on to it within your body. Like what you said, Angela, about that we don't even realize that it might be manifesting in our body as something like sometimes it's a kink in our neck, or sometimes it's in our stomach, and we're
Yeah,
ignoring it.
it starts in our mind. And so if we have these thoughts going on, and that's why it's so important to be able to shift from the feelings of fear and frustration and anxiety, because it starts here, and our brain sends that signal to the areas of our body. And by being able to acknowledge when we're having a thought of fear, where it's coming up for us in our physical body, because sometimes until we're laying in bed and we're just kind of going over the day or our thoughts and stuff, we don't even realize, we're, like you said, Rachel, that we're holding that. All of a sudden you feel it when you're just relaxed and you're allowing your thoughts to just be. You're like, oh, my shoulders hurt, my lower back is really hurting. Or like Angela was saying, in the moment, being able to see where it's coming up for you. Is it coming up for you in your heart? Is it coming up for you in your gut? Where are you feeling those thoughts in your physical body? And just being able to tap into that and send it love and tell yourself, because when you're telling yourself that you're okay, you're sending those signals to your body to help you physically relax those areas.
I find a lot of times it's my jaw, like I'm clenching my jaw and I don't realize it.
I do too. Yeah. And then I end up getting tension headaches from that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think even just taking the time to recognize that and release the tension helps. Because
Yeah.
if you're ignoring it and you're just going about your day, to the point that you're getting a tension headache,
Right.
you're not doing yourself any favors.
For anybody around
Absolutely.
you.
I know.
Right.
Our poor families. So, one of the ways that you can actually start sending love and releasing some of that stuck energy is by taking time to connect with your higher source, whether or not that be, for you, God, or the universe, or whatever your higher source is that makes you feel at peace and connected to all that is. There are different ways I think, for everyone. Everyone has their own idea of how they connect with their higher self, or their higher source. And if you've never attempted to do that before, then just explore. I know some people, they do that through exercise, they do that through jogging. That's where they feel closest to God or their higher self. They'll do that through going into nature and just communing with a tree or the sky and the earth. And music is a big part of that for me. Vibrationally, I feel like I kind of, when I find a song that I resonate with and it resonates with the feeling that makes me feel good, listening to that song and then maybe lighting a candle and going into meditation is the way that I connect with my higher source. You know, you don't even have to do it for very long. I mean, it could be 5 minutes, and that can be enough. It can be enough to actually start moving through those energies, those stuck energies that you have in your body that the fear might be holding on to in your body because of the fear.
Absolutely. I feel through this, I've been allowing myself to have that show up for me differently each day. There are days where I've painted. There are days where I've taken out my guitar and I've just played music and sang and just, really tapped into that musical side of me. There are days where I've done nothing but meditate. And then, like you, Rachel, music is a big one for me, just listening to certain songs, playing music that really brings me through it. And it doesn't have to be very long. It literally can be 5 minutes where it just shifts you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I find for me, meditation has been really important because, I live a busy life and I forget to do that every day. And it's just like I get up, I go to work, I come home, I do all the stuff I need to do. And at nighttime, I'm exhausted. And being at home is a different feeling. It's almost like a reset and a reconnection that I'm finding. So I'm finding I have more space to meditate, but then also my writing, a lot of times when I want to do my writing, I feel like I have to be in this really quiet space. And lately I've just been doing like 15 minutes here or 15 minutes there and connecting with more of my writing group. Where I think when I get caught in my everyday busy day, I don't allow myself the space to do that. And so for me, I think we all have things that we gravitate towards, whether it's music or writing or painting or exercise. I think during this really unprecedented time, take advantage of that you have time to do that, because pretty soon this is going to be over and the world's going to wake up, and what's that going to look like?
Right, you're going to be back to your normal daily routines. So being able to also just be thankful for the time that we have, that we get to focus on these things that we love so much, because now more than ever, people out there are tapping into their creativity, and you're seeing it on social media, on Facebook and Instagram. People are sharing their talents, and it's unbelievable to witness. It's such a beautiful thing. And without this going on, even though there's so much around it that feels not good, there's so much around it that feels so beautiful. And so, that leads us into our next point is, decide not to cycle fearful or worried thoughts. And we don't have control over the outside world. All we have control over right now is ourselves and what we are doing within our home, and really taking time to take those assessments of ourselves. What brings us happiness? What brings us joy? What brings us comfort? What can we bring into our daily aspects while we're home, really focusing on ourselves and not worrying about what's going on out there, because we don't have control over it. Worrying about things that have not and may not ever happen, you suffer twice. So worrying now about things that you have no control over, you're making yourself suffer twice.
Yeah.
You have to put your worry and your attention on things that haven't even happened yet. I think a lot of people are doing that in this time. They're worrying about, where are we going to be in a month from now? How are things going to look in 2 months from now? We don't have control over that right now. So worrying about it is only putting your body through unnecessary stress.
Which lowers your immunity. Anytime you have fear, stress, worry, that lowers your body's immunity. And I think, it's easy to say, because I think we tend to get, I don't know if addicted is the right word, to, worrisome thoughts or
I think
fearful
it is.
thoughts.
Yeah, I think some people, because we're very habitual people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Human beings are habitual, and we kind of get into thinking the same things over and over again and reaching for the same things over and over again. So sometimes that's news or media or just the worry thoughts that we've kind of get into that. So recognizing that and then trying to break that as a cycle so that you're not doing that anymore is going to be really beneficial.
Yeah.
So the next step would be practicing being fully in the present moment.
Yeah, I think one of the things that we can do is practice being fully in the present moment. So, like I said, stressing about what's going outside of where you are right now in this moment doesn't do any good, and it only perpetuates the feelings of fear a lot of times. And I feel like fear is contagious, just like a virus. It can spread. And we are kind of seeing this like in the media. In my day job, I talk to people all across the United States on the phone, and I'm always asking, like, what's it like there? What's it like there? And just getting their perception on what's going on in their different, physical environments. It's very interesting, and I'm seeing a whole gamut of really fearful people and people who are just like, I'm just writing this through. You can ask yourself, am I safe, provided for, healthy, surrounded by love in this moment?
Right.
Just this moment. Allowing yourself to acknowledge all the good you have right now. To be in a place of gratitude, even for the simplest of things. And I think people don't realize, like, I can, on my planner for work, because I'm still working, I have this spot where it says, today I'm grateful for. And a lot of times it's just like, I am grateful for this cup of tea I'm drinking right now, or for this purple pen I'm using. Like, it's little things. Doing that can bring in feelings of calm and peace, and it can override the stress and fear. Even if it's just for that moment, that is so profound and so powerful, because the power really is this moment. And a lot of
It
times,
absolutely is. That's so beautiful, Angela. It's so powerful.
mm-hmm.
When you are, just like fear is contagious, when you are in a state of gratitude and you're allowing your vibrations to rise above the fear, that's contagious as well. And it's palpable. Yeah. You can feel it. I know, and I've seen so many people out there make these remarks on Facebook and stuff, is that you can feel, especially the beginning of this, when there was so much uncertainty around all of it, uncertainty around all of it. But we're starting, as we're making our way through this last month, we're starting to understand more about it. And in the beginning, the fear, you would wake up day to day and feel that energy around it. And we, as light beings and, souls that are embodying these bodies, souls having human experiences, we can and we do have the ability to shift our energy around it and to raise the vibration above this fear. And it's such a beautiful thing that we're able to do, that we're capable of doing. And and it's okay if you are in that fear and feel it, because we are human, and this is an experience that we've never experienced before. But being able to just bring yourself out of that, not staying in that fear, and bring yourself out of it and raise the vibration, and being in a state of gratitude for what you have, and for your health, will help shift the vibration.
So the next part of this are the tools that you can use for empowerment. So all of this these are all great tips, but they're actually things that you can do to help, because sometimes it's hard. It's just hard. And so it's important to actually find useful tools to help you with getting into this space. And by surrounding yourself with positive messaging, there's so much out there, which is nice. Like we've talked about, like, staying away from negative things, negative media. We did talk about media, right? Did we talk about that?
Not really, but I mean, I think it's inferred there that you just keep
Yeah,
and
stay
positive.
right. So, it's important to surround yourself with positive messaging. Sometimes with the media, we want to know what's going on. So it's okay to stay informed, but don't dwell and watch, don't hang on every headline. Just try to avoid that and find positive sources of positive messaging. To
Like Empower Your Thoughts. They
like
have a great social media with great quotes and beautiful images.
For
Absolutely.
three beautiful, sexy women, you're gonna want to follow.
Right. No, but definitely, find quotes that bring positivity to yourself. Why are there three? Did I not fix anyway, whatever. Um, but put a positive messaging on your mirror. Like, find an affirmation about yourself. Like, I am happy, I am peaceful, I am centered, and say that to yourself whenever you see that message. Just whatever it is that you need to do. Make sure that that those messages are accessible to you to help remind you to stay in a good space. And then community.
And I think community is a really good thing because we're talking about surround yourself with positive meaning, but by finding community or like-minded people, you're also sending that positivity out to your community and those around you. And I think that's really important at this time. Find your people,
Right.
and
Mhm.
try to send that positivity, that love. It's not going to be perfect all the time because we're going to be going through stuff, but we are
Mhm.
tribes, we are villages. To be able to like go through this as a community and as a whole, I see a lot of, even though we're all social distancing, there's so much connection going on right now that I'm seeing.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
more now than ever. I mean, the technology has been able to bring people together in a way that we've never actually been connected.
Mm-hmm.
I think that we've seen it, and some people have tried to, but there has never really been a strong reason to. And now there's a reason to connect via technology, and then
Mm-hmm.
there's so many people out there that are offering. There are spiritual leaders who are offering the ability to connect as a community, and it's wonderful, and we should all be taking advantage of that.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
And now more than ever, we're seeing artists and actors and actresses coming on from the space of their own home and sharing such beauty and wisdom. And there are, singer-songwriters out there that are offering free concerts in their living room. It's just such a beautiful thing to see. And I think, coming back to community, when you are having those days where you feel down and you just really feel depressed and you don't really want to get out of bed or do anything, it's beautiful to have those people that you can reach out to that
Yeah.
lift your spirits, because maybe the day before they were having a down day and you were the one to help lift them up out of it.
Yeah.
And knowing that there will be back and forth and it's perfect and it's okay, so make sure to reach out to people and connect with them, because it really does help. It really, really does, to have those people that you connect with and love you.
Especially those people that are home alone,
Yes.
that don't have the people to like bounce off of, or have that community, reach
Yeah.
out to them.
Absolutely. Just like think through, who do you know right now that might be alone? For me and for Rebecca, it's our mom. I think Angela,
Yeah.
is your mom alone as well right
Yeah.
now? Yeah.
Yep.
And so I have made it a point to check in with her every day. And I think all of her kids are, and she's probably
Yeah.
more connection with her kids now more than ever. She's probably,
Yeah, it's true.
but I think that is really important.
Yeah, I'm finding I'm connecting too with like family members over Zoom that live not close by more
Mhm.
Yeah.
because of this time. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, distance. My James has, because he has the time, he's not at work during the day, he's working, but he's working from home. He's been able to talk to both his sisters and his mom more now than the whole 18 years we've been together, going on 19 years that we've been together. I'm seeing him connecting with them almost daily, and it's just really amazing to see that, and I know how much they appreciate it too.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. I had this thought the other day because we get so busy in our normal day-to-day lives, with our children are in soccer, and so they keep us, running back and forth. And I mean, very, very busy. And there are a lot of people that I've wished that I had connection with, but I don't have time. And
Yes.
now I feel like you can take the time, even if it's just like we use Marco Polo right now, where we can just send little messages here and there and say hi and reach out and make sure that everyone's doing okay. And that's one thing that I'm hoping that we carry forward when things start going back to a more normal situation, that we continue to make the time to reach out to people, even if it's just through technology, because that's all we have time for. I think that that is showing people that you can connect with people even if you don't have a lot of time.
Yeah. Yeah, and I find like with community, I'm finding, like Becky, you're saying you're like doing a lot of music and stuff. I'm connecting more to the writing community than I have in a while, and I think, and and of course the spiritual community, which I like myself, so I think that's great.
Absolutely. And just finding things that interest you and having the time has been such a gift. It's nice
Yeah.
to have that time. So
Yeah,
all the time that we would have been running kids around to soccer practices, not that I kind of miss that too. And I feel bad for the kids because I know that they're missing that, but I also feel like they're able to find a little bit of just home family connection that we were missing. We've been missing because we've been so busy. We are definitely sitting down and having more family meals than we were. We were having we tried to make it like a point to do it at least twice a week, to sit down and have a family meal. And now it's like every night because we're together. So why not?
Yeah, it's beautiful. And that's just one of those things that you can be grateful for, that you are connecting more and spending more time with your family, that you're having more downtime to really just stop and slow down. So many people have that 9-to-5 job or just the daily routine where they're just go, 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 go. And unless they are, they have a day off or they're on vacation, they're not really taking the time to really slow down. And right now we're being forced to slow down and stop and take that 5 minutes.
And that may be hard, it might be hard, but it's also really good if you can relax into that and start experiencing what that feels like to just slow down for a little while and connect with yourself and connect with your loved ones. And, for me, I am still working, like you, Angela, from home. And I do, my days are filled with work, but there are times that I normally would be either on the road or out doing, running the kids around to their different activities. That time is not being taken now. So now I can take that time back and focus on some of these other things. And I'm looking at it as a gift. Like, it's right now. It's what I have available to me right now in this moment. And it is temporary. So I'm just trying to appreciate it and be in the moment.
That's
So
wonderful.
I think we can go to our next point or our next tool of empowerment, meditation or forms of meditation. And I think, meditation is one, but I think there are different forms of meditation. And we had said it before, it could be prayer, it could be exercise, it could be communion with nature. It's really whatever it is, it's just being in the moment, being still and connecting with whatever it is that brings you comfort.
Right.
And
if you can try to make that part of a daily routine, you're doing it on a regular basis, not just occasionally. Because I think if we wait to do some of these spiritual practices or these things that are for us until it gets to the point where we are so stressed out and upset, that it helps, but it actually helps if we don't get to that point where we're so stressed out, if we're able to implement a daily routine of taking care of ourselves and our needs.
I've been listening to this one of these like spiritual thought leaders lately, and she talks about the difference between spiritual infancy and spiritual maturity. And I thought it was really interesting because she says, and this can be whatever modality of faith that you believe in, right? Spiritual infancy is where you go to it when you need it, when you're feeling sad or whatever, but you don't have a daily practice. And spiritual maturity is where you have a daily practice and you embody whatever that is for you is in your faith on a daily basis, and you live in that. And I was like, I am the spiritual infancy, like it's like I might do whatever my practice is when I'm having a rough week or I'm having a rough day. And I wonder, what would that look like if I did it on a daily basis? And I was thinking maybe having a challenge of trying to, for me, it's meditating 7 days a week.
Love that. And right now is the perfect opportunity to do that or to try that.
Right. You have nothing but time right now. And I have been trying daily to practice being in a state of meditation or listening to a guided meditation, because it's not always easy to just sit and quiet and meditate, especially if you're in a household where you've got a lot going on around you,
right?
Your kids and everything. So being able to put on headphones, and I'll do that in the morning, first thing in the morning when I'm first waking up, before my wake even, or my kids are awake, I'll put on headphones and find a beautiful guided meditation. Or I've been following a 21-day meditational practice, listening to that, tapping in when I'm able to. So headphones are a great tool.
Yeah.
Cool. So one of the, I think that there are a lot of meditational tools out there. There are a lot of guided meditations that you can go on YouTube and find and find something that resonates with you. Empower Your Thoughts is developing, and we'll actually provide a link to a meditation along with this vlog. And we will continue to create meditations that you can follow along with, and they'll be short. We don't want an hour-long meditation, but there are definitely some hour-long meditations on YouTube. We'll try to keep ours short just so that it's more practical for, when you're going about your day, to be able to carve out, whether it be 10, 15 minutes or 20 minutes to just take that time for yourself. And that is definitely a tool that you can use, is find some guided meditations and then start implementing. Figure out what time of day would work for you and your lifestyle, and then just challenge yourself to be doing that. Like you said, Becca, 21-day challenge, like even if that sounds a little daunting, say like, okay, this week I'm going to meditate for 5 to 10 minutes every single day at such and such time. And if you miss that time, say, it's okay, I can do that later today, but try to get it in every single day. I think it's really, really important.
Okay, so are we going to do a challenge between the three of us?
Yes, I think we should.
Bring it on, ladies.
So just to go back over briefly the different steps that you can do to find peace of mind. Just start with finding that time to check in with yourself and how you're feeling, how it's coming up for you in your body. Honoring your feelings without judgment. So it's okay to feel bad. Try not to stay there, but just honor those feelings. Because if you suppress those feelings because you don't think that you should be feeling bad, they don't go away. You're just shoving them down, and they will come back up for you. So you definitely want to, just honor those feelings, send love to those feelings. Recognize where they're coming up in your body and send love and healing to those areas in your body that those feelings are coming up for you. And that way you can start releasing them. Moving through your fear, which I don't know if we actually talked about how these are actually moving through your fear, but when those fears come up for you, take time to connect with your higher self through the different forms of meditation, whether that be actual meditation or going for a run or just going out and being in nature. Just take that time to connect with your higher source, universe, God, whatever it is that you feel aligned with. And then, release any fearful thinking that you might be getting into a cycle of repeating over and over again in your head, where you're just feeling you continue to reach for those fearful thoughts. So try to end that, recognize when you're doing it, and then stop that cycle or those worry thought cycles that we kind of tend to get into. And then practice being fully in the present moment. That goes back to when you're connecting with your higher source, really get into a state of gratitude with where you are in that present moment so that you can release fear. Because when you get in that present moment and you connect with your higher source and you're in a feeling and a place of gratitude, you can't help but release fear. You can't be fearful when you're feeling grateful. It doesn't, they don't coexist together. So those are the steps. I hope that you found them helpful.
So in conclusion, we really hope that you enjoyed our second vlog in our social distancing format that we did, and with our beautiful presentation that we all created, but that Rachel beautifully created. Remember that we're on all platforms, social platforms. So we have Instagram, we have Facebook, we have Twitter and YouTube. And you now can sign up for our newsletter at empoweryourthoughts.com. So we totally encourage you to do that. From all of us here at Empower Your Thoughts,
May you feel empowered.